Hi guys, Dan Ward here from Ochiko Bushcraft. Well, today guys, I am testing a new trap. It is called the DF4 trap. It is basically a figure 4 trap made out of aluminum. And you can see I have one set up here and ready to go. The trap itself is basically 3 pieces of aluminum. One of them is labeled with a G on the bottom, so that you know that that side is the side that goes to ground. It has a bait stick on one side with a point to skewer bait on, and also with 3 holes. And the trap comes with a spool of wire, and you can use that to wire bait onto the trap. That is what I have done here in my trap. I took a piece of my breakfast bar and I have it wired onto the trap. That means that when a squirrel or a rabbit or something comes in there, it's going to have to try to work at that bait to get it loose. This thing is very sensitive. I've set a few of these now and am very impressed with the sensitiveness of it, and they do trigger quite easy. The trap also comes with a set of instructions. Both instructions on how to set it up in the traditional figure 4 deadfall pattern, as well as instructions on how to set it up as a snare, a twitch up snare, which I have not done yet but plan to do in the near future. Now it is early in the morning here in the Ochikos, and I have had large gray pine squirrels running up and down the trees around me all morning. In fact, just a minute ago, one was running up and down this tree that is right behind me, investigating what I'm doing. And so I'm very confident that if I were to leave this trap set up and take a walk, that I would probably have squirrel for breakfast when I came back. They are very curious, and if you leave food laying around or crumbs outside your camp, you know, they come and they get them. So he would come right over to this trap and go after this bait, I'm sure. So also guys, I want to mention that if you are into bushcraft, I firmly believe that it is absolutely essential for you to learn traditional bushcraft trapping and carving skills. Learn how to make and carve traditional deadfalls, Paiute deadfall, the figure 4 twitch up snares, a variety of primitive traps. You know, that is just essential to bushcraft. At the same time, emergency preparedness says that you should have a way to get traps set in a hurry if you find yourself in a real survival situation. You know, maybe something's gone awry. You need to get a shelter up. You need to get a fire going. You need to collect water and collect firewood. And at the same time, you need to get food because you're out, you don't have it with you, whatever the case. Having, you know, half a dozen of these traps and a few wire snares in your pack is a good idea for that type of situation. You can sit down and carve more traps later. You can go out and set more snares and things later. But in just a couple minutes, I can set all of my traps out and then go and worry about, you know, getting my shelter, fire, and other things, and I at least have something going to start bringing in food. So with that in mind, guys, let me grab a stick here. Squirrels come in. Oh, by the way, I want to be sure and mention this. When you set a trap like this, guys, wall in both sides of the trap. You know, set up rows of sticks, brush, whatever you've got, you know, wall in the sides, both sides, so that your animal has to funnel in from the front. Now what that does is when the rock starts to fall, if it doesn't give the animal time to jump out, his immediate reaction is to lunge to get out of the trap. Shortest distance would be to go out the side, but there's a wall of brush and twigs and things in his way. So he sees that, hesitates, and tries to switch directions. Then it's too late. So, like I said, row of sticks, brush along both sides of your trap. The animal has to actually come in underneath the trap, and in order to get out, he'd have to reverse directions and go all the way back out. And that's generally just not enough time. And bam, like I said, and you just seen, the trap is quick, and you can set it, play with it a little bit, and set it to make it just really, really sensitive. So the animal comes in, he starts worrying that bait that you got wired on, and he can't get out the sides because you set up a brush wall, and bam. The trap is also quick and easy to set up, which is really, really nice. As I said, you have your ground side that tells you which side goes down to the ground. This side just comes and hooks in here. You can hold it in place, set it up on a little rock or something so it doesn't sit into the ground. Move this little piece here to kind of make it more sensitive. And there you go. And, you know, quick and easy. That's one thing I do like, is because I have carved figure 4 deadfalls, and this actually seems to me, when you adjust it, which you can play with it right here where the notch sits in here against like this little or this notch here, sorry, this notch sits in here. You can adjust that to make it to where it's just hanging on by the thread, and you can almost blow on the thing and make it fall. So I'm very impressed with the sensitiveness of this trap. It for me is probably a little more sensitive than the ones that I've carved. And I'm very confident that if I were to set these out each day, especially like where I am now, where these big pine squirrels have been running up and down the trees all morning, that I would have a supply of food. And anyway, guys, with that in mind, I do recommend them. I hope to see the price come down. I think they're a little expensive. 16, 17 bucks for 3 pieces of aluminum seems high price to me, but I haven't seen anything else like them, so I've gone ahead and I've bought a little supply of these. Had a lady in my neighborhood that sewed me a long camouflage pouch to attach to the side of my pack, so I have these and some wire snares shoved down in that pouch, and if I need to get traps up in a hurry, I've got a way to do that. Guys, thank you once again for tuning in to Ochiko Bushcraft. Enjoy yourselves out there.